Welcome to Mana's Seal YouTube channel. The previous video link is on the description box or on the top right card. Volume 13, The Paladin of the Holy Kingdom. Black smoke filled her eyes and throat, but she did not have the time to worry about that. There were very few Demi-Humans who had made it through the oil and the portcullis, about 50 at most. First she would kill them all and weaken the enemy's willingness to fight. Since they were part of the vanguard, they must have surely been highly motivated elite troops. Wiping them out would be more effective than killing mooks. Remedios' breathing was calm and unhurried as she killed one enemy after the other. Large Demi-Humans like ogres could not bring their full abilities to bear in a pitched melee. The holy sword roamed everywhere without restraint. Eventually, the shapes of the Demi-Humans vanished from her tear-stained vision. However, she could still hear a large force of Demi-Humans on the other side of the smoke. They might have been in the middle of reforming their lines. As Remedios slowly backed away, the silhouettes of several Demi-Humans came into view. "Captain, come back here," her subordinate paladin shouted to her as he cast under divine flag. However, Remedios did not retreat. Her instincts were telling her something. As the smoke thinned, she could sense 3 Demi-Humans slowly approaching her, and shortly after that, her hunch was proved right. One of them was a warrior with the upper body of a beast and the lower body of a carnivore. One of them was a 4-armed Demi-Human woman. And the last was a simian Demi-Human who was festooned in golden accessories. Remedios had originally planned to kill tens of thousands of Demi-Humans by herself here, and she was very confident of doing so. However, she now sensed that fighting these 3 Demi-Humans at once was extremely dangerous. There were only 3 of them. While she could not make them out due to the smoke, she could tell they were brimming with confidence, given their unhurried pace. Even their fellow Demi-Humans seemed to have handed their task over to those 3, unwilling to come any closer. "They're strong. I don't know if I can beat them even if it's a one-on-one fight, or can I? I've got no chance if it's 3-on-1. Remedios' instinct screamed at her to flee rather than take these 3 on at the same time. But how should she escape? She had no idea. In contrast, if she beat those Demi-Humans, it would amount to a flawless victory for this theater of combat. Remedios gripped her holy sword tightly, and spoke without looking back. "Paladin Sabicus, Paladin Esteban." Both of them replied with a yes. And, from the sounds they made, she judged that they had come to her side. "Can you pin 2 of them down until I kill one of them?" The 2 of them replied in unison, "Leave it to us." Remedios' instincts told her that she was being unreasonable. They might be able to buy a few minutes for starters. But how about sending more people to take the Demi-Humans on? No. Remedios shook her head. Her opponents were mere 3 people, who had entered the fray by themselves. Clearly, they were confident in their own abilities and wanted to show off their strength. Enemies like those would surely accept a one-on-one challenge. Such was the arrogance of the mighty. In addition, such arrogant beings typically took pleasure in making the weak suffer. They would take the extra time to torment their victims, even if they could have finished them off in a matter of seconds. With that faint hope in mind, she decided on a 3-on-3. "Paladins, if the 2 who stepped up are defeated, continue fighting them one-on-one. The order goes. Sabicus, Esteban, Franco, and Galvin." They were abandoning their advantage in numbers to buy time. Simply put, she was ordering everyone to kill themselves. However, the paladins did not hesitate for a moment when they received those orders. This was what it meant to be a paladin. This was what it meant to embody justice. This is what it means to sacrifice yourself for others. This was probably the last time they would be seen alive and unscathed. Even so, Remedios did not take her eyes from the 3 Demi-Humans for even a moment. She did not want to miss any chances to glean information from them. "I don't have a clear picture of what's going on, but the first 2 Demi-Humans look like skilled fighters. Perhaps that ape-like Demi-Human is a monk. That 4 arms looks like a magic caster. Or is it something else?" There was nothing to fear when dueling Demi-Humans who relied on brute strength alone, but Demi-Humans who had been trained were truly frightening. If they had received warrior training, then they could stack their training and their natural physical abilities to become exceptional individuals who could surpass even veteran warriors of the Holy Kingdom. In truth, the opponent who had given Remedios her hardest fight Jaldabaoth at the side was such an entity. She recalled the blow that had stabbed her through her abdomen. That was why she paid attention when fighting Demi-Humans, and heeded the warnings of her instincts on top of that. Spellcasting Demi-Humans are the most troublesome to deal with. It'll be bad if they can fly through the air. While Remedios could use her armor's abilities to fly for short periods of time, she would not have her full range of movement while in flight. Ascending, descending, and turning were all very exhausting, and she would not be able to use her usual fighting style. If her opponent could cast fly, she might never be able to reach them with her attacks. While she possessed martial arts which allowed her to make ranged sword attacks, it would be difficult to win quickly when one took into account the fact that their effectiveness was a great deal lower. The three demi-humans entered through the gate and then stopped. To think we have to join forces for a puny human. She could not make the three demi-humans out clearly through the smoke, but their relaxed tone had reached her. The hand gripping the holy sword beaded with sweat, and a bitter taste spread over her tongue, something that only happened when danger drew close. She could keenly feel her opponent's approach. The beast and the ape were definitely among the best of the best. While she was not sure about the four-armed one, the fact that she could stand by their side meant that she was on their level. In other words, these three demi-humans were a match for Remedios. This smoke's getting in the way. What a pain in the ass. A strong wind blew the remaining smoke away with a whoosh. The demi-humans' forms were revealed. Standing at their head was a gigantic demi-human who wielded a battle axe. Zosha. Paladin Esteban exclaimed. Remedios was somewhat baffled. Zusha, she thought. Was it the demi-human's name? Well, it makes sense that you'd know of me. The beastman said with an evil grin on his face. In that case, I'll spare you on account of your learning, so that more people will hear of my strength. Hehe, Vijadono. Jaldabaoth Sama will get angry if you take matters into your own hands like that. At the very least, have him drop his weapon and take him prisoner. The entity addressing the Zosha was the ape-like demi-human. Thoroughly confused, Remedios turned to the people around her, a question mark floating above her head. Zosha. Vijer. Vijer Zusha. Zusha Vijer. While she was simply asking the names of the opposition, Vijer did not realize that, and so he laughed in delight. Kuhahaha. You're calling me that because you've concluded that I'm the leader of our race. You humans have good taste. She's just being polite, Vijer Dono. The four-armed demi-human behind and to the left of Vijer said in a mocking tone. That's right, it's just a courtesy, Vijer. It was only then that Remedios realized she had made a mistake about his species' name. Right after that, the demi-human called Vijer twisted his face in displeasure. And I even asked Jaldabaoth Sama for permission to spare anyone who pleased me. Don't regret it. He's going to regret it. You can regret fighting us in the afterlife. Hehe, what a spirited young lady you are. You are a young lady, right? I'm not good with the ages of other species. It doesn't matter, that ought to be it. The demi-humans were probably being very serious. This was simply the difference between their species. Now then, human girl, I shall introduce ourselves. I am Halisha Anchor. This is Vijer Rahandala, who needs no introduction. And last of all is Nasreen Burkai Redono. Those names. Aren't they the White Elder and Ice Flame Lightning? Paladin Sabicus exclaimed. Kukukukuku. Even the humans know our names. The fledgling, on the other hand. Human. Do I not have a title like that? I've never heard of the name Vijer Rahandala. However, there's an axe-wielding Zosha like you who's quite famous. It's the Demon Claw Vajasandagnar. That was my old man. Vijer snorted. I'm the heir to the title of Demon Claw, Vijer Rahandala. I'll make sure you think of my name when you hear the words Demon Claw. Hehe. We'll leave the human general to you then, Vijer Dono. So be it. It's hard enough that you've been forced to come right up to your opponents instead of using spells from a distance. Frankly speaking, I was planning to fight them all by myself. Hehe. We were ordered to work together, you know. So you're having trouble because you're getting on in years. Tis. The four-armed demi-human, Nasreen, who had clicked her tongue turned and gave Vijer a scary look. In truth, it felt like they might start killing each other at any moment if they were left unchecked. Now then, I really am fine doing this by myself. Vijer stared at Remedios. But let's hear your name before that. Well, it's a pain to have to listen to some muck name themselves. That sword of yours looks pretty good. Remedios Custodio. Vijer and Halisha's expressions changed, but in different ways. Vijer was smiling with bloodlust at the thought of meeting a strong foe, while Halisha was surprised. Nasreen, on the other hand, remained unmoved. So you're the one, huh? You Remedios Custodio. They say you're the strongest paladin in this country. Excellent. If I kill you, I'll become famous. I'll be the Zosha who defeated the strongest paladin in the Holy Kingdom. The new successor to the title of Demon Claw. In that case, that must be the Holy Sword, right? Say, Vijer Dono, how about letting me face her instead? I'll have my people sing your praises if you let me take your place. Both demi-humans reacted immediately to Nasreen's words. Hehe. So you're planning to hand it over and then ask Jaldabaoth for a child? We've decided that I'll deal with her. There's no need for you to do anything. Begging to be bred by a demon. You make me sick. Remedios could not help blurting out what she really thought after her ringed exchange, and Nasreen turned to give Remedios an irritated look. So you don't even understand what it means to bear the child of the supreme ruler. Humans truly are moronic creatures. Even Jaldabaoth Sama would lavish care on the species of his offspring, no? When you think about it, there's a lot of advantages to being a woman, huh? Oh yes. And if the father's excellent blood could be passed down, the child that's born might come close to, no? Vijer puffed up her chest. might even be able to bear children that surpass their father. Though you could consider me an exception too. These three demi-humans did not act like they were feeling threatened despite being on the battlefield. Remedios began to boil with anger as she watched them chatter idly. How dare you demi-humans come here and spout nonsense? There's no use thinking about a future you won't have. I'll crush your stupid dreams here. No, not just you, I mean all of you. Hee. Uo, I'm so scared. While Halisha looked like he was flailing his arms and legs around in panic, he was not actually afraid. That was because he was confident of victory even against an opponent like Remedios. It only served to displease Remedios even further. Remedios shouted an order to the paladins, loud enough for the demi-humans to hear. Listen up. This is a duel. I'll fight Viger. As for you, I'll take him on, Sabika said as he pointed to Halisha. In that case, I'll take that one on, Esteban said as he walked in front of Nasreen. Oya. I'm not a warrior so I'm not too sure, but they're pretty weak, aren't they? Who knows? Best not to be careless, Nasreen Dono. Remedios picked up Viger snorting at her, and she roared, here I come. He must have sensed that those paladins were weak. No good would come of letting him mention it. The first strike was key. The militiamen were watching her from behind with bated breath. Not only would it wipe away their unease, it would also let her opponent know that he was facing a worthy opponent. For these reasons, she had to make an unreserved blow with all of her might. Remedios hacked down on Viger, holding the holy sword in one hand. In response, Viger raised his massive battle axe to intercept her blow. Both sides collided, and the very air shuddered. She could hear shouts from the militiamen behind her. There was no time to slowly determine if they were cheers or cries of panic. Her full power strike had been answered by a counterattack of equal force. The weapons of both sides were undamaged from that exchange of evenly matched blows. If someone had brought a mundane weapon to this intense clash, it would probably have been chipped or bent. In other words, Viger was also wielding an enchanted weapon. Nu. Remedios' next swing grazed Viger's upper body, sending forth a spray of blood. However, the battle axe struck Remedios' chest at the same time.